Welcome to day 77 of our school year. Let's get down our beginning fraction. We have a total of 180 school days. And we are on day 77. So let's find the factors of our numerator. Our numerator is 77. Two factors we always know are 1 and the number itself. Using the commutative property of multiplication, I can also write it as 77 times 1. Now we're going to go in order using our divisibility rules to make sure we get all our factors down. So in order after 1 is 2. The rule for 2 is that it ends in an even number. 7 is odd, so 2 is not a factor. And if 2 is not a factor, no even number will be a factor. So I just need to check odd numbers. So after 1, the next odd number is 3. So the rule for 3 is that we add the digits together. 7 plus 7 is 14. 14 is not a multiple of 3, so that means 3 is not a factor. We try 5. The rule for 5 is that it ends in a 0 or 5. It ends in a 7, so 5 is not a factor. We try 7. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63, 70, 77. Yes, 7 is a factor. 7 times 11. 11 times 7. There's only one odd number between 7 and 11, and that is 9, because we only look at counting or natural numbers, no fractions or decimals. 9 has the same rule as 3. We add the digits together and get 14. 14 is not a multiple of 9, so 9 is not a factor. Then we get to 11, and we are done. Also, 11 is prime, and when our second factor is prime, and we've gone in an orderly fashion, we know we're done. So we list them from least to greatest. 1, 7, 11, 77. We have 4 factors. That is more than 2 factors, so it is composite. Now we just have to figure out which of these is our greatest common factor. So let's start with our greatest factor of 77 and see if that works. Okay. Make sure you have 77 in each group and you keep your shaded separated from your unshaded. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, plus 3 is 73, plus 4 more is 77. And I have 26 left over, so 77 did not work. Okay, next let's try 11. So I have 10 plus 1, 9 plus 2, 3 plus 8. Using that decomposition can help you with making your groups. You can always count. It takes a little longer, but it's better to get the right answer slowly than the wrong answer quickly. Okay, here's 6 plus 5 and 7 plus 4. Keep your shaded separated from your unshaded. And we have 8 plus 3, 9 plus 2, 1 plus 10, 10 plus 1, 9 plus 2, 8 plus 3, 7 plus 4, 5 plus 6, and 6 plus 5. I have 4 left over, so 11 didn't work. Okay, let's try groups of 7. Let's see if I do this. 10 take away 3. These are all then groups of 7. I could do 6 plus 1, 2 plus 5 plus 2, and 1 plus 6. Okay, so I'm going to do that all the way down. So if I use my understanding of making tens, it makes it a little easier to make my groups. This is where that using logic can help in understanding patterns. Okay, so 3 plus 3 plus 1, 2 plus 3 is 5, plus 2 is 7, 1 plus 3 plus 3, 3 plus 3 plus 1, and then I have 5 left over. So 7 didn't work. That means our greatest common factor is 1. Let's make our groups of 1. Done. How many total groups of 1 do we have? We have 180. How many are shaded in? 77. Okay, we still need to do our division with our algorithm. We're dividing by our greatest common factor. And we're showing why they stayed the same. Okay, I'm going to do 100 times 1 is 100. Numbers the same, 0 is a game. More on top, no need to stop. Numbers the same, 0 is a game. And then 80 times 1 is 80. Numbers the same, 0 is a game. Add our partial quotients together. 100 plus 80 is 180. Here, 70 times 1 is 70. More on top, no need to stop. Numbers the same, 0 is a game. 7 times 1 is 7. Numbers the same, 0 is a game. Add our partial quotients. 70 plus 7 is 77. Now we're going to check divisor times quotient plus remainder, divisor times quotient plus remainder. Since our remainder is 0 for both, and the identity property of addition says when you add 0 it stays the same, we don't need to add 0. But what we end up with here is the identity property of multiplication, which says when you multiply by 1, it stays the same. One group of 0 is 0. One group of 8 tens is 8 tens. One group of 100 is 100. One group of 7 is 7. One group of 70 is 70. 77, that checks our dividend up here. 180, that checks our dividend up here. So our numerator is definitely 77, and our denominator is definitely 180. All right, let's go ahead and fill in our data collection page. Okay, we're on trimester 2, week 4. Today is 12/4/19. And our fraction for today is 77/180th. 77 is a prime number. It is not a factor of 180, so our greatest common factor is 1. That means we did groups of 1, and you do not have to get out your number line. But I always like to show you where it is on your number line, because there's 77/180th, and there's no lines underneath it because it is the simplest form. We could break these up into smaller pieces by multiplying by 2 or 3 or things like that and find equivalent fractions up here, but none in a simpler form. Okay, let's go ahead and erase your worksheet, and thank you for joining me.